right. This is probably our, I don't think we've kept track of how many Q&As we've done, but 20s or 30s, maybe
Couple
this is
dozen,
our 30th Q&A. Well, there have been 16 rounds. This is the 16th round of the Unfunded List. And welcome, evaluators, to the 16th round. We do 1 or 2, sometimes 3 Q&As each round, so we can assume reasonably that this is the 30th Q&A for Unfunded List evaluators. And this one's featuring Margaret Chapman, our board chair, and Dave Moss. We do these live generally for folks, and people who can't make it are like, "Did you record it?" And I say no, because we didn't. But this time we are recording it, and if you're watching it, you're probably watching the recorded version, unless you are an AI machine. Welcome. Thank you for evaluating with us. We have reviewed 1,000 proposals, and we have 51 more proposals to review this round. So after this round, we'll be able to say more than 1,000 proposals. Hello, Crystal. Welcome. We've just begun. Glad to have a human guest. We are recording a Q&A for evaluators for this round. This is it's commonly requested to have a recording of this. And so speaking of Unfunded List evaluators, over 900 folks have participated in the evaluation process here as evaluators. They've evaluated at least one proposal. This round, we have 300 who've signed up, and I expect about half of them to do it. We assigned those proposals accordingly, and I believe that we will have generally full coverage. We're going to try to answer a bunch of questions, walk through the process today, give some tips, both substantive and administrative, for doing your evaluations, and leave some time for questions if anyone has any at the end. Over the last 16 rounds, I think that we've gotten pretty good at the process. We've made improvements each round. Those improvements are usually based off of suggestions from evaluators like yourself. So if you're doing your reviews and something comes up and you think it could be better, let us know. You're probably right. And we'll do our best to make that improvement. I think it's because of that we have a very high satisfaction rate. The last time we asked, we had a 95% satisfaction rate from our evaluators. A large number of evaluators come back. The only real reason that people don't evaluate is because they're too busy, generally. It's not because they didn't find value in the process or anything like that. Everybody really enjoys it. We will assign you proposals that match what you told us when you signed up. And that'll be balanced against like the needs of the group, right? You may have asked for something very specific. You might not have a proposal like that. Sometimes I do like to give proposals to folks that like maybe way outside of your area, because I think it'll be useful for them to get feedback from someone who's like, doesn't have those kind of field level blinders on. We are going to play some videos today, and coming right up is video 1, which is something that David Jaffe and I put together called How to Review.
Hi, I'm Dave Moss, founder of the Unfunded List, and I want to thank you for agreeing to review a few proposals for us this round. Our program depends on helpful and candid feedback from reviewers like you. And to make reviewing as easy as possible for you, we've designed custom software called the Assignment Matrix. Let's take a moment to see how it works. First, you're going to find the email we sent you with your assignments and click on the link. This is a magic link that will always take you to your assignments, no login required. You can even use the same link next round. Once you've logged in, find your assignments at the top of the page. You can also scroll down here to view every submission from this round. But please first click on your first assignment. On the left-hand side, you will find summary information about the submission. These answers were submitted by the applicants when they sent us their proposal. Once you've looked it all over, click on the bottom where it says Link to Proposal, and that'll allow you to read their proposal submission. Find a quiet spot to look it over. We suggest reading the full proposal before reviewing. If you prefer, though, keep the tab open and review while you read, whatever works best for you. Remember, we read all sorts of submissions, and we use the word proposal pretty broadly, so you might be reviewing a grant proposal, an executive summary, a business plan, a marketing deck, or a fellowship application. Please give the submitter the benefit of the doubt and try to be as helpful as you can. I'll give you a moment to finish reading. Are you finished? Awesome. Let's fill out a form. So our evaluation form has several sections. Overall impressions, application quality, idea quality, collaboration, organization, budget, sustainability, network, and next steps. Please do your best to leave helpful and candid comments for each section. Try to write full sentences, and please don't write NA or not applicable if you can help it. Your comments will eventually be combined with other evaluators to form our final feedback reports. If you would like to speak directly with the group afterwards, you are encouraged to do so. Just scroll to the bottom and click one of our commitment buttons. You could also offer an introduction to someone else or suggest a resource. We'll look that over and include your commitment in the final report we send them. Once you've reviewed your proposal, click Your Submissions at the top to return to the main page and continue reviewing. And that's it. On behalf of the Unfunded, I want to thank you for your helpful and candid evaluation. Happy reviewing.
Okay. So that video was from a few years ago. And the form looks slightly different, so don't be alarmed if you don't see the exact same things. Obviously, we have different batch of proposals as well. In particular, we've removed the numbered questions and multiple choice questions, and it's only comments now. We are near the end of this round. There's still plenty of time left to review. Reviewing takes about 3 to 6 hours, depending on how long the proposals are and how long it takes you to do your work and background research and stuff. And we've got today's the 12th, so we've got 8 days left until the deadline, which is May 20th. Just to go over our overall calendar, though, the original deadline for proposal submitters was back in March 15th. We read through those internally through to March 30th, right? And which is also when we gathered proposals from our co-review partners at Resolution Project. 11 of the proposals from this round came from Resolution Project, and 2 from SVP Vancouver, which is a funder of social enterprises in Vancouver. And so we had all of those by April 1st. I read and assigned them, and the assignments were sent out to 300 different evaluators on April 10th. A bunch of you may have joined during the round. You may be considering joining right now. We do our best to onboard folks who sign up during the round very quickly, get their assignments out to you, right? So if you sign up right now, you have over a week to read proposals and right, take the few hours it takes to help out these folks. That'll be very useful. We want to have as much coverage as possible. We think our reports are better the more perspectives that they have in them. That's generally what we're doing here. We take that proposal, we assign it to a bunch of different folks, and try to provide as many perspectives as possible to these people to aid their future endeavors. So as a reminder that, like I said, we are here at the symposium on the final day, May 12th. Feedback will be due on May 20th. If you need a day or two longer than that, please let me know. We can accommodate that, but really, as soon as you can get your feedback in, will be helpful. We are putting reports together for everybody, 51 different proposal authors, putting together all those reports, making sure we have everything correct in there. And we also schedule report discussions afterwards. That's what's going to happen right after the reports are sent on June 1st. We'll be having report discussions, right? They sign up to talk to me about their report over the month of June and July. I'll be doing those conversations. And most of the 51 will sign up for it. In the past, it's been most everybody takes the time. So I fairly busy in the month of June and July talking to people about their proposals, right? Talking about their next effort, going over the feedback, providing context. Sometimes connect, like if you made a follow-up offer that you wanted to connect with them, right? That's when I do that during those report discussions. Margaret has helped with those discussions in the past, and maybe I might be able to convince her to help out with some of them this round. It's a decent amount of work for us. It's a very important part of the program. They get the sort of a twofold approach. They get the report, and then it's very important for them to have the opportunity to discuss the report. the report is not always clear. Your feedback might not be that clear to them. We've been doing this for a while. We've come up with a pretty good approach to doing these discussions. And again, every fundraiser is different, has different concerns. So it's mostly about where they are and trying to be as helpful to them to move forward. And then, we'll be finished with that with July, and then we're going to launch right into our next round this fall. Which, if you're watching the recorded version of this, that might be the round that you're participating in. Proposals will be due September 15th, I think. Almost certainly September 15th. We'll be reviewing shortly thereafter for October and November, right? And probably send reports out December, probably by December 1st. I haven't nailed all those calendar dates down, but that should be more or less how it goes. Definitely, you'll be reviewing in October and November. We'll try to give generally people 6 weeks from assignment day to the deadline, so it's a good long while. We're going to have a lot of proposals in the fall. Over 100. We have several upcoming co-review partnerships. We're going to have proposals from all over the world covering a variety of topics. We'll need as many reviewers as we can find. This fall should be an exciting time for proposal reviewing, which, if you're watching this video, probably is exciting to you as well. We have another video to play. This is the video that we show our applicants when they get their report. And I will. Is it up? There we go.
Hi, I'm Dave Moss, founder of the Unfunded List. You wrote a proposal. That's awesome. We believe that every proposal deserves helpful and candid feedback from experts. We want to help you find the funding you need, and so it's our pleasure to provide you with this comprehensive feedback report, including reviews from multiple evaluators. And I'd like to take a moment to tell you how we made your report. First, we received proposals through our website, or one of our co-review partners like MIT or Mentor Capital Network shared your proposal with us. Next, we read it and assigned every proposal to the evaluators best positioned to help. Our evaluation committee includes hundreds of members. Professional fundraisers, experienced grant makers, and well-networked connectors round out the committee. As each reviewer completes our evaluation form, the reviews are added to the report, along with the name and background of each reviewer. And if any evaluators made any commitments, we've indicated that as well. Please note that the reviewers do not see each other's comments. We only share this feedback report with you. We won't show it to anyone else. Once you've read your report, the best next step is to schedule time to speak to someone at the Unfunded List team. Those of you who've submitted previously know that these calls are a great way to follow up on commitments, discuss your reviews, and brainstorm next steps. We look forward to speaking with you. Here at Unfunded List, we know how hard all of you are working. We'll be here to review your next proposal, too. We hope that you'll come back to us for years to come. Thank you again for your submission. Enjoy your report, and good luck with your funding.
All right. I feel like a little bit like a substitute teacher. Played 2 videos. But those are good ones. I want to thank David Jaffe, who's recording this session, for his help putting those videos together. Also, all the music for both his couple songs featured in there was all done by Scott Hessel, who's one of the original evaluators on the committee, and also good college buddy of mine. And he's helped us with our own grant proposal writing too. Multi-talented guy. Thank you, David and Scott, for those videos. Thank you to all of the evaluators. Very quickly, I have a handful of tips for reviewing over the years, right? I've heard from a number of evaluators about their various trepidations and such. So one, do your best, right? We are not trying to get correct feedback or to get all the answers right. We want to get your perspective on the proposal. So if you read the proposal and you have thoughts, those are the correct thoughts. Please do your best to try to include as much of that in there. Don't worry so much about being right. Don't be shy, right? You have perspective. That perspective has value. Also, right, when these folks submit their proposals to grant makers and committees, the people reading those proposals are folks just like you, right? They might have the same response. We're trying to give these authors access to that response, whether it's positive or even like if you're having a critical thought, you're hesitant about sharing it, please do. This is what they've asked us for. Right? They came to us and they said, please read this proposal and tell us what you think. So do your best and don't be shy. Right. I would also say, I would add to that, right? Give them the benefit of the doubt. Unlike some other proposal review programs, we read proposals in every single format. We do our best to present you with all of the information. We ask the applicants a few questions, right, about their proposal. If we know where they applied, we try to provide the RFP link. Some of the folks from this round haven't applied anywhere yet. They don't know where to apply, and they're looking for guidance on that, right? Others applied to a specific program and have supplied the RFP to us, right? Others may have like sent us their draft and not realize that like the links don't work anymore or something like that, right? Because like the links did work when they originally submitted that, or things of that nature, right? Try to give each applicant the benefit of the doubt and focus on reviewing what's there rather than what's not there. Um, it is somewhat helpful to say, I would have liked to have seen a budget. It's not that helpful to include that in like every single answer. Like, since there's no budget, I can't comment, right? That's like harping on it will not be a helpful comment. Pointing out that the lack of a budget made it difficult to review a few times, right? And explaining exactly why and what you might have been looking for in there, right? Or how, or like what sort of information could be reflected in there, right? And again, they have all submitted something. So your response to that thing that they did submit will be more useful than, right, talking about what they did not. Do your best. Don't be shy. Give them the benefit of the doubt, and fundamentally try to keep your comments helpful and candid, honest. Right? Don't sugarcoat things. Don't be overly mean. Mean comments will not be read very well, even if they are like very good advice. And I would, lastly, I would say establish some credibility, right? All of you are on the committee, have quite a bit of experience doing something, right? You have a valuable perspective as a human being, right? You live in a community, you've seen how that community interacts. You also have professional careers, experiences, and stuff that are valuable. Feel free, there's no character limits in our comment sections. Feel free to tell a little bit about yourself, right? And why you have the opinion you do, right? So if you're a professional fundraiser, say, I'm a professional fundraiser who's been fundraising for 20 years, and here's how I would approach fundraising for your organization. If they're going to read that comment, like, this is my direct experience with thousands of applicants, 1,000 applicants, is that that comment's going to be read much more carefully than if you just dove into telling them what to do, right? And a lot of you have relevant experience, stuff that they're really going to want to hear from. Also, like if you're from the place where they're working, definitely point that out. Those are particularly valuable experience. Or if you have experience with the funder that they apply to, that you think they should, right? Add those things. If only because it will get like these reports they're going to get are going to be full of comments. They might be up to 100-page long, comment after comment after comment. The ones that have that kind of like established credibility are usually the ones that we talk about afterwards in the report discussion and end up being the most impactful. And over time, those have been the ones that end up like leading through conversation and connection to actual funding and things of that sort. So those are my general tips there. Oh yeah, I got one last one. Just in general, like the feedback you're giving is like, things aren't always glamorous, right? Sometimes it's like, oh, this is awesome. Here are some cool ideas you could do. Other times it's like you forgot to do this, and this thing, like basic business. You don't have a 501c3, so this foundation can't fund you, right? Sometimes it is that clear, and you shouldn't like try to ignore basic feedback, because some of those things are difficult for the authors to accept, right? And what's we've seen be helpful over time is if the report has 10 different reviewers and they all said the same thing, it's difficult for them to argue with me in the report discussion. And even if they try, I can say, maybe all 11 of us are wrong. You're right. But you should be aware that most of the people you encounter are going to think you're wrong, right? That's what they get. They can't say we didn't give them what they asked for when they signed up in that condition, right? And lots of these folks are at the very beginning of their fundraising career and are making very basic mistakes. So like I said, It's not always glamorous. Some other times it is. Feel free to do some glamorous reviewing as well. All right, Margaret, have I? Feel free to. I'm sure I missed a bunch of stuff. What did I? What did I miss?
You didn't miss a ton. There's just a couple small things, mostly administrative. That's usually my best fit is coming in and talking about logistics. Um, you may heard it in the video, but it bears repeating. Try to avoid the NAs or the not applicables or the I have no comments here. To be honest, we go through and take those out, and that's just an extra step for us because they're not helpful for the person reviewing it, and they have a report that's 30 pages long.
If there's 100 of them in the
Yeah,
report,
it just adds extra stuff. So if you don't have a comment, that's okay. You don't have to answer the question. As Dave said, not every proposal will have an answer to every question. That's okay. It's fine.
If you're not, just sorry to interrupt, but if you're not financial, right, you don't have to comment on the budget question, right? And if you're not a program person, you don't have to comment on the program. If you don't feel that don't feel the need to comment on every single one. Lots of our best reviews have been right in just one comment box. Someone just wrote like quite a bit in just one comment box, and that was very useful. So feel free to zone in that way. You definitely don't need to like get 100% completion rates, right, by putting NA in each box. Sorry, Mark, is there anything else?
I mean, just again, when you're writing, you do have the boxes, and it might be in your mind to say, "Oh, well, I answered this in the first question, so see above," or "I answered this, later." The questions are not always in the report in the same order that they're in the boxes that you answer them, which is also a good note when you're submitting grant proposals because they also are not often in the same order. So if you put in a grant proposal, see above, they may not know what that means because it may be above the section you're referring to. Same thing here. So if you did mention it already, either repeat it again or sometimes that's just the easiest to find another way to say the same thing. That way your point really does come across. Just see above or see below. They're not always the same order, so just try to avoid those.
Yeah, we might add it as a talking point. That, like, don't be afraid to be repetitive.
Yeah.
I think actually the repetitive feedback in these reports has often been is the stuff that's like very difficult for them to ignore. Like just when it comes up, like, oh yeah, I guess it must be true because these people are saying it over and over again. Like I thought it was exaggeration, but this obviously people are concerned about this.
Yeah.
And just in general, see below and see below. It's just to add to that, it's just sloppy writing. You're all better capable of it, and it is. Thanks for pointing that out, Margaret. It is good practice because that is certainly true with all the new grant. Like if you apply to a grant these days, they're using Flux or some sort of online system, and it does not. It will not show the answers in the same order. So, not a good habit to have out there.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Any other tips from you, Margaret?
Just one. As soon as you start typing, it will start saving. So don't worry that oh, my browser closed or I got a phone call and I didn't get back to finishing it right away. Totally fine. If you start typing 3 letters, Dave can immediately go into that and see that you've typed 3 letters. And trust me, he does. So
I watched people review like while it was happening.
right. So it's very fun for us. Also, don't worry that you're going to lose something if you do close out of it. It will be there. Just log back in again, and you can pick up right where you left off.
And I won't pull your answers until after the 20th. So if you change your mind about something, want to add it, feel free to come back, add those comments, right? Change your mind on things. When I pull them, if I see like unfinished stuff, it's possible and if I thought that finishing it, like if it was a cliffhanger, right, I may reach out and ask for like, can you help like finish this comment or whatever. Otherwise, I generally like remove the incomplete. There's like usually a few incompletes and other things in there. People are very busy. I understand. Fundamentally, how we designed this is that we assign way more evaluators to each proposal than we would need to get minimum coverage, right? So usually the reports exceed our expectations and also the authors as well. And we have a very high satisfaction rate from our authors. I hope that everybody who interacts in Unfunded List enjoys their time. Our motto here for the symposium and for the organization is listen, learn, speak, right? You listen or read the grant proposal, maybe you go and do some research on the topic of the funder or things that they applied to, right? And then you speak into the comment box, right, to help them, right? We offer additional opportunities to listen and learn and speak here at Unfunded List, including this symposium. We also have committees and a board of directors. We are ourselves a small 501c3 nonprofit. We encourage donations from evaluators. And this is, I guess, an ask, but also a tip for evaluating. Is one of the best things you can do to help out the program is to recruit your friends to evaluate. Your evaluations will be much stronger if there's more evaluators in the pool, right? And most of you if you're working in the nonprofit sector, you probably know great evaluators. I think probably everybody knows somebody who would enjoy this. We heard earlier in the week during our feedback on the feedback session with Jen and Sarah, a lot of great stuff from them. That's a session worth watching as well. My one big takeaway from that was something Jen mentioned, right, that we're evaluating with the Unfunded List. I think this is the reason why a lot of people find it very rewarding. This is a very good actionable response to when you get overwhelmed by the problems of the world. Maybe you watch the news, or maybe it's more personal in your face, right? And often it can seem like there's nothing you can do about the problem, or you yourself do not have time to go become a social entrepreneur and start an organization that focuses on the problem. It is an enormous time commitment to do that, right? But we have done our best to try to make helping those folks not an enormous time commitment. Twice a year, you'll get a handmade tailored batch of proposals, right? And you'll be able to take some time and help some actual folks who are out there and struggling with your fundraising. Thank you very much to everybody who's spoken at the symposium this week, and for the various people in AI who have attended the sessions. We have one more session this afternoon about giving circles, which we're all looking forward to. If you're watching this because you're evaluating proposals, I hope we've answered all of your questions. If not, feel free to email me, dave@unfundedlist.com. And if it's a question about evaluating, I will probably answer pretty quick. Usually during the rounds, I'm available to help evaluators. Margaret, do you have anything to add?
I don't. But thank you all for joining and for evaluating. And yes, it's a great, fun time. So bring all of your friends. I know I've brought most of mine on board. So come join us.
Terrific. Thank you very much. Thank you, David, Jaffe, Scott, for the music. Maybe that music's playing right now. Taking us out.